So, with the Star Wars movies, with how good those movies are, none of them have the privilege of being in, well, my top 20 favorite movies of all time. I've seen so many movies that Star Wars, even though are absolutely fantastic, don't get me wrong, absolutely fantastic movies, and they are easily some other people's favorite movies. With me, it's not my favorite. It's not even in my top 20. I'd put it somewhere in the top 30, something like that. Now, with this franchise, the Indiana Jones franchise, there are two movies on here that have the privilege of being in my top 10. And, well, let's first start off with talking about what is debatably the best in the series, Raiders of the Lost Ark. Released on June 12th of 1981 and directed by Steven Spielberg, Raiders of the Lost Ark has a very simple plot. It follows Indiana Jones, who is an archaeologist during the 1930s who is tasked with finding the Ark of the Covenant, while at the same time the Nazis want it as well. So, with the help of his friend named Karen, they team up to go ahead and take down the Nazis before they get the Ark of the Covenant. Now, with this movie and why I love it so much is simply for one damn reason, and it's just the action. This movie has great set pieces, awesome choreographed fights, and some of the best stunt work you will ever see in an action movie that lends so well to the action genre that it's just exhilarating. And well, with great action that doesn't go over the top or isn't excessively gory, this is a great family movie. What the hell is that? Oh my god. Holy Jesus Christ. You know what? God damn it. All those images scared the hell out of me when I was a kid. And this is meant to be a family movie, and it has stuff like that. And don't worry, the sequel has it as well. But I digress. Even though it has scary images, Raiders of the Lost Ark is a ballsy action movie with intense action, an awesome story, and great characters, and it spawned a couple really good sequels. I'm going to give Raiders of the Lost Ark a 10 out of 10. So after that life-changing movie, and, well, given the fact that it was so critically acclaimed and made a lot of money, we were, of course, going to get a sequel. Which is, by the way, a prequel. Not very many people know that, but this is actually a prequel to Raiders of the Lost Ark. We have Indiana Jones in the Temple of Doom. Directed by Steven Spielberg and released on May 8th of 1984, Indiana Jones in the Temple of Doom follows Indiana Jones a couple years before the events of Raiders of the Lost Ark, who has this deal with this man named Lao She, which unfortunately the deal goes south. So Indiana Jones takes one of his airplanes, which unfortunately crashes in the mountains. They are saved by natives, and, well, they tell Indiana Jones about the illustrious Temple of Doom, to which Indiana Jones is tasked with going into the Temple of Doom, getting back these sacred stones, and rescuing a whole bunch of child slaves from the local native tribe. So with this movie, it's darker in tone, and with a darker tone, usually that means a lot more of a serious movie, giving off the impression that this movie was taken more seriously, therefore kind of making it better, like with The Empire Strikes Back. That movie is a lot more darker in tone than A New Hope, and Empire Strikes Back is the best out of the Star Wars movies. Now, with this movie, you would expect it to be maybe as good, if not better, but unfortunately, the Temple of Doom isn't as good as Raiders of the Lost Ark. And it's for one simple reason, and it is the characters. What I mean is Short Round and Willie are the two biggest complaints I have with this movie. I don't care that he's a kid, the little brat is annoying, and with Willie, she acts like a 5-year-old. All she does is complain and frickin' scream, and it annoyed me to no end. And yes, I know he's a kid, but I don't care. He's annoying. And Willie, she literally does nothing more than scream. The only thing that I can think of that she actually does that helps out with the movie, or even where she is remotely helpful, is when she punches some guy in the face. Aside from that, she does nothing. She's the damsel in distress, and it's such a step down from Karen in Raiders of the Lost Ark, who actually did stuff. Sure, she was a damsel in distress half the time, but she actually helped. She was the one that was able to put, she had the ornament that you needed to put onto the staff of Ra to find where the Ark was. Without her, they couldn't have found the Ark. It's such a step down that it's insulting, honestly. But I'm tired. I want to wrap this review up, and I'm going to say this. Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom, though with some not so good characters, with some very annoying characters, that doesn't mean the movie's bad. This movie has some fun action. Obviously, the set pieces are fantastic, as are with any Indiana Jones movie. The music is great in it, and the writing and the story is honestly pretty deep. It hits you. It hits you hard with its moral about slavery and all this. And well, given all that, I'm going to give Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom an 8 out of 10. Alright, so there we go. We just went ahead and we looked at Indiana Jones number 1 and Indiana Jones number 2. Now, when it comes down to tomorrow, we're going to go ahead and look at my favorite out of the Indiana Jones series, and that is The Last Crusade, and, well, the elephant in the room, The Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, which I have a different opinion than most people on that movie. But, aside from that, I hope you guys have a good evening, day, morning, whatever time you're watching this, and I'll see you next time.